At 6 p.m. we'll call this work session to order. First item on the agenda is our city attorney, Grace Grant. Do you have anything for us tonight?
No, sir.
Okay. Next we have our mayor's report, Mayor Foss.
Thank you, Council. Got a few things. I don't have my, James, I don't have the clicker, so I just want to report to you that at Eagle Park, we've completed our pickleball courts. So they're ready to be played on for our citizens and everyone else to come down. They top of the line courts. So that's one of the biggest things that we've done in the last few weeks is with the weather and things, trying to move that forward for our citizens and people to be able to use and us to be able to host tournaments there, bring revenue into the city. So we're looking forward. We've built 2 new tennis courts just behind that. They're not open yet. We'll be building 2 more tennis courts behind that. We'll be doing a retaining wall and parking. So all of that's in the phase that we're working on now. So for our citizens and our council, I want to say thank you for the funds to get us to that point. So everything seems to be working in the right manner. So I just want to again say thank you for everything that the council and everyone has done in the city. I do want to say one other thing. We have bad weather moving in toward the end of the week, so I want us to be weather aware. We stay home if you have to, be safe. We don't want to be traveling on ice and things, so just keep in mind, weather, our lives is worth more than trying to travel. So be prepared. Our staff is getting prepared today for the weather. So just to let you all know and the citizens know, let's be prepared. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. We'll move into council member reports at this time. Councilmember Turner.
Thank you. I would like for the fire department, if you will, to explain to us the regulations on the false alarm, the ordinance is on the agenda. Could you give us?
Sure. I'll just defer to our fire marshal, if that's okay. He's here, and he'll give you the details. I'll fill in any gaps if you need to.
Okay.
All right, yes, we looked at the surrounding cities that have similar ordinances to this. It allows for new construction buildings to have a grace period of a minimum of 30 days grace period where the false alarms would not count against them. Other than that, it would be anything over, we would start a fine at $50 and then it would go up $50 for anything over 3 false alarms. So that would be, you get 3 in a 12-month period that are just come with warnings, and for us to come out at the fire marshal's office, after that false alarm to see if we can help figure it out as well. And would also give time for them to hire the alarm company to come back out and test the system and make any corrections that are needed. What we found with some of the businesses and buildings that have had these issues, especially some of the apartments, if you have a lot of multiple alarms, and we've had some that have 5 false alarms in one day, and the fear is that we're training people to ignore the alarm, the fire alarm, especially in sleeping residents. That's just something we try to curb as soon as we can.
Okay, so, but they get a $50 fine after they have 3
Yes,
alarms in a row?
number 4, they could be issued a fine. Now that's, it's still, there's always discretion that can be worked in that. Hopefully we've had good communication with them after the first 3. And as long as they're still working on an issue, I don't think it would be just a way seeking for money. More for me personally, as the fire marshal, this is just a way to give us a tool to have them bringing the company back out to make the system work as it's designed to work. And as long as we're working toward that, that is the goal we're after.
When you were saying as far as the timing, what is that time frame?
It's in a 12-month period.
12 months.
So if they get their first false alarm today, they have 12 months from that first one.
Yes.
And does that roll off? The one rolls off and
It
it
goes off after 12, yes. And by code, they're supposed to be having their alarm system tested every year anyway by the alarm company. That's why we went with the 12-month period, so it would still be under that testing period with their alarm company.
Do we have the system in place to track that, or is it manual?
Oh, well, it's a little both. Our reporting software does track that. The way we enter the calls in, it might be a lot of in the early months of some Q&A where we review all of those to make sure people are entering them in correct so that we can track them more efficiently down the road. So in the beginning, there will be a little bit more hands-on reviewing it, but after that, we should be able to set the computer up to just flag it. And any of the fines or anything, if we decide to do that, you know, if we talk to them and we feel like that's the only way to go after that, I'll be going out and dealing with the manager of the property one-on-one on that and face-to-face.
But it wouldn't just be apartments, right? It's going to be citywide?
Citywide, yes. It would count for residential and commercial, but historically, the issues are not the residential at all. The one thing I would encourage the citizens to do, if you do have an alarm system at your house, make sure your alarm company has your updated phone number. And if your alarm goes off because you're cooking supper, and then you get a phone call on your cell phone from an unknown number, it's your alarm company. Answer it. Don't just ignore it.
Thank you.
No problem.
Also to our city attorney, do you have an update on the blighted property on Woodbine?
So I provided a memo of your two options to try to deal with that property. You have an ordinance that's a little restrictive, frankly, but there's a state law that gives you a lot more leeway in terms of what you can do to actually resolve it at the end of the day. So I've been working with your staff here to provide them that information, and I think you've moved forward with at least posting the information on the property itself, which is kind of the first step.
So, can you give us some information on that, some updates?
Yes, the new code enforcement officer, he started a little bit before the holidays. Holidays got in, got his, I guess, feet wet, so to speak. He's been working on that one, getting in touch with Grace. I've been talking to Grace about the two ways we can do it through our ordinance or the state. Probably going to go through the state's way, like Ms. Grace said, that it's going to be, I guess, a little bit more fluid and a little bit easier, so to speak.
Yeah, it gives you options at the end, you know, to really tear down the property
So,
faster from our perspective.
Okay, we want faster.
yeah, and I know it's taken a while. I was going to talk to you, but we kind of missed each other in the hallway or the entrance back there, because I'm going to bring it up to you because we have been talking about that. Tearing down somebody's house is, like Ms. Gray said, it's a big deal. So we want to make sure we make sure we are doing everything we can to find the person. We still have not found the person. We haven't got anything to them. So we posted outside. Randy, the code enforcement officer, he's good at digging. He's already found a few things that we couldn't find, some cases that was just out there, and he amazed me the way he found them. So he's pretty good at that. He actually worked for Colonial and retired from there, and kind of did that in finding people. So he's got some options we didn't never think about. So it's going to happen. I know it's just a slow go, but we're getting closer. And I'm gonna keep you posted on that.
Okay. Well, thank you, that's all I have.
Thank you. Councilmember Blunt?
I don't have anything tonight.
Councilmember Morgan?
I don't have anything.
Councilmember Davis?
Only thing I have is to continue to encourage our parents to sign up for youth sports. Registration is open until February 8th. That's all I have.
All right, just a few things from me regarding tonight's agenda. I will be making a motion to amend the agenda to include some budget adjustments for our park and rec equipment. And then also on the agenda, when we get to the ordinance for the false alarms that we just heard about, that will need unanimous consent tonight, or we can do 2 readings of that. That's all I have to report on tonight. We'll go ahead and hear from Main Street at this time, if y'all would like to speak now.
Good evening. The mayor had already said that there was some bad weather coming this weekend. We're watching that, but we do have that disc golf tournament currently planned for this weekend. I have contacted the Railroad Museum, and if we need to push it to next weekend, we will do so. We're watching the weather on those concerns because we do have people traveling in from Florida and Tennessee and Missouri and Mississippi and all over the state of Alabama for that event. So we are watching those weather conditions, and we do have that event this weekend. Like I said, if weather conduces itself where everybody can come and have a great time, definitely come out, meet these people, come talk to them as they're coming to our city for the weekend and traveling from out of state and out of town. So that's what we have right now going on. Like I said, we've opened it up. We have over 110 people coming in just for this event this weekend. Thank you.
Thank you. Police Chief Hodge, would you like to go ahead and give your report?
Sure. So, Councilwoman Byers asked me to do this. It's fitting that she's not here when I do it. I didn't plan it that way. But she had asked for an update on the statistics, basically, for the police department for the previous year, for 2025. So we prepared something for her. And the software, I know there have been several times in the 5.5 years I've been here, different council members that have asked us different questions that were statistical in nature, but we really haven't been able to answer those questions. And the new software that we purchased a couple of years ago has really helped with that, and our numbers are much more accurate now than they've ever been, and also we're able to see things like traffic accidents and hotspots and that sort of thing. So it's really nice. And so this will be much more accurate than the hand counting method we used to do. In 2025, the Calera Police Department strengthened its operations by adding 3 key positions. A case sergeant, who is the director of our in-school case program, a criminal analyst who's assigned to the Criminal Investigative Division, and a court and community service liaison officer. Calls for service continue to rise in step with Calera's growth, and we're pleased to have recruited several high-quality candidates to meet those expanding needs. I was telling you earlier in the meeting, I was telling the council and mayor that we have 3 at the police academy now that started yesterday. We think they're very good candidates. I think they're going to do well, and we have 8 that are in the process now of going through our taking our fitness test and going through the application process that are potential hires that we would like to put through the academy in the spring, which will get us close to fully staffed. Which would be nice. We haven't been fully staffed at all, or even close to it, in my 5.5 years here. In 2025, we had 1,476 training hours that our staff completed. That's officers, dispatchers, as well as the non-sworn support staff. The number of cases that were worked by investigative division was 318. I wish I had done a statistic on the rate that they solved, because it's ridiculous. I joke with them all the time, but I just posted 2 today that were pretty new cases, and they don't solve all of them, but they come pretty darn close. We have an extremely talented team. I've been doing this 38 years, and I've worked in a lot of different states and a lot of different places, and I have not worked with a better group than our group of investigators. They really are top notch. One of them's running for sheriff in Jefferson County, and I got mixed feelings about it. I know he'd be a great sheriff, but I sure would hate to lose Detective Breach. Traffic accidents, we had 896. That's pretty consistent. That really hasn't gone up or down. But we do have the hottest spot in the state, and you all know where it is, on 65. It's, when you look at a heat map, that's the darkest red on the state. That's right here in Calera. So we have around 900 traffic accidents a year, roughly 2.5 a day. That's notable too, because with the size of our shifts, with the manpower on each shift, that can just about shut a shift down for a few hours if it's a big enough accident. So that's pretty significant, and that kind of will roll into something I'm going to bring up here in just a minute. 542 arrests were affected last year by our officers and our detectives. We currently have 36 full-time officers, not counting the 3 that we just hired. When the 3 successfully complete their training, we would be up to the 39, but we had a retirement since then, so we'll be at 38 officers. In my estimation, based on national averages, I think we should be at about 45. I think we're pretty close to 20,000 population, just under it, and about 2.5 per thousand is what's recommended by DOJ. I do think 3 interstate exits change that equation drastically. A city without the interstate there's a world of difference in the amount of volume of work that you have as a police department. I know if you follow what we do, it's very common for us to make cases against people from out of city or out of state. So, and I think the interstate, it brings a lot of good, it brings some bad too with it. Our crisis response team activations, we don't call our tactical team a SWAT team, we call it a crisis response team because we have trained negotiators and all of the members are trained in conflict resolution, which we think is very, very important. Force is always a last resort. But when I got here, when I found out a town this size had a SWAT team, I wanted to make sure that it was, 2 things were done. Number one, they have meaningful call-outs. They do a meaningful service. And the second thing is they have meaningful, valuable, realistic training, and ours does both. They very much do meet that. They had 5 activations last year, and their activations, we go through a criteria, and it has to meet a certain criteria before we activate that team. And it's a number of things that I won't get into all the specifics, but typically they're high risk arrest or search warrant operations. So 5 a year for a team our size is a pretty fair number. There are plenty of teams around that don't really get any activations year after year, and like I said, I think ours does meaningful work, and I think they're very much valued. Calls for service events in 2024, we had 17,147. This past 2025, we had 19,174, so pretty good size increase from 24 to 25. Looking back at 23 and prior, like I said, we had the old software and the numbers aren't real good, but those numbers, 24 and 25, are solid numbers. Our case officers in our schools did 71 hours of training in the schools in 2025, and I think we'll be pretty well consistent with that. One last thing I'd like to bring up that's not on this sheet that I provided you, but most of you that have been on the council for a while, and I know the mayor and myself frequently hear from the public with complaints about traffic situations. We have 2,300 requests for service, extra patrol requests every month, and we cannot possibly do that number. And I don't lie to people, I tell them the truth. But one thing I would really like for us to start thinking about getting for our city is a traffic unit, a dedicated traffic unit. I think that would help a great deal. It's not going to solve the problem. You never solve that problem. But having a dedicated traffic unit like Helena, Alabaster, Pelham have, where you have officers that are trained to just do traffic and investigations, traffic and accidents, that frees up the shift to respond to calls. And you've heard me say this many times too. I can't stand it when we have somebody who's sitting and waiting in the lobby for 45 minutes on help, or somebody's on the phone and we put them on hold because we got too many calls going on, and it frustrates them. They get angry. They call the mayor calls me, or they call you guys. I mean, it happens a lot, and it is a problem when we get complaints about it. But I would like for us to strongly consider setting up a traffic unit, and we can talk more about that, what that exactly means later down the road. Any questions about any of that?
Give me that number again, Chief, when you said how close you are to being fully staffed.
Well, it depends on how you look at it now. We moved an officer into the court liaison position, so with these 3 coming out of academy, we would be 3 bodies down. Once these 3 graduate, we will be down 3 bodies from fully staffed, but I honestly consider fully staffed to still be short-staffed. I don't think 39 officers is enough. I really think we should be at about 45. I mean, having a shift with 3 and a sergeant on the night shift is not enough. A big accident on the interstate wipes all of them out, and then all the calls come in and people just wait. Any other questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Kelly, would you like to do the financial report?
Tonight I'm presenting the year-to-date December 2025 financials. These figures reflect the results of our first 3 months of our fiscal year, which began on October 1. You'll notice the presentation tonight was a little different from what I gave last month. I've separated the governmental funds and the proprietary funds into 2 different spreadsheets so they're easier to view, especially for those watching online. So on this first sheet you see it has all of our government funds, and every one of our government funds, the revenue exceeds the expenditures year to date. Here are the key year-to-date results. The general fund shows revenue over expense of $104,000, or said another way, our fund balance increased to $104,000. Court fund, a $21,000 increase. Debt service fund, $160,000 increase. Gas tax fund, $71,000 increase. And the capital project fund shows an increase of 1.15. This is due because capital project funds were budgeted, approved in the budget, and we actually transfer those funds, but the money has not been spent on most of the capital projects. I wanted to pause while we have this up and we're looking at the capital project fund. The capital project fund is where you will start to see the $11.7 million in the grant revenue come in if the council approves the agreement tonight. So you'll see this is where we'll put it. You'll see the revenue come in and go out. This grant is not one that we get all the money up front. The way it works is we will pay 100% up front, and then we will submit invoices and cancel checks to the FRA, and they will reimburse us 80%. So not all we received at once. So we haven't received any funds today. But when we do, I plan to report that during these monthly meetings. And I would like to see, when I do get to report the first time we receive that money, I would like to see the council do a celebratory dance. Because this has been 3 years in the making for this grant. You know, we had the agreement we had the award 3 years ago, but we have not had a grant agreement until now. So this is a big deal. But when we get that first payment, that's a really big deal. So work on your dance moves, because hopefully it is coming soon. All right, before we move from this slide, I want to call your attention to the highlighted yellow number. It is showing the general fund payroll year to date for our first 3 months. So the payroll for the general fund for 3 months is $4.58 million. Okay, so remember that number. So let's flip to the next slide, James, please. And the next slide just gives more detail of our general fund. And so the number I want to call your attention to on this page is the sales tax received to date. So for the first 3 months of our year, we have received $4.235 million. So the number on the last page was $4.158 in payroll for general fund, and our sales tax is $4.235. So it's only a $77,000 difference. So what that shows is almost all of our sales tax is going to general fund payroll. And what is concerning about how close these numbers are is the flatness of our sales tax. Our sales tax does have a slight increase, but that's only due to one-time sales tax events. And these are not events that will reoccur, and we can't rely on that in the future. And our general fund, as we've talked about, it is budgeted to have a payroll increase of $2.6 million. So that's the concern, the flat sales tax, but increasing payroll costs. James, please move to the next slide. Let's look at our proprietary fund. The sewer fund is reporting, one more slide over. Maybe that third one. that shows proprietary, that's got the sewer and gas and the garbage. Well, that fund, the sewer fund is reporting $995,000 revenue over expense. And I've added an information line to that because it's important. The bond payments we have for the sewer debt for 2026 is going to total $1.25 million. And that doesn't show up in the financials, so I've added a line. Because if you just look at it, it shows we have $995,000 revenue over expense, and we don't see that we have the bond payments coming out. It's sort of misleading on where our cash is. As of December, the gas fund shows expenses exceeding revenue by $44,000, representing a decrease in the fund balance. But because we bill 6 weeks behind in our gas fund, I'm expecting that to be positive next month. And finally, the garbage fund shows revenue exceeding expenses of $112,000. So in closing, while our financial position remains positive at this point in our fiscal year, the trends shown in these reports deserve careful attention. Sales tax growth has slowed, and the cost of delivering core services continue to increase. These indicators highlight the importance of finding additional revenue sources to ensure the city can continue to provide the level of services our residents deserve. I will continue to monitor these trends closely and keep the council and the public informed. Thank you.
Yeah, so you're gonna start the dance off for us?
I will. When we get that first payment, I will. But y'all have to follow.
Thank you. All right, so our regular scheduled council meeting will begin at 6:30.
Both sheets.
Huh?
Hey, so look at this.
I gotta finalize it. But maybe we can mention that.
I can't do it either.
At 6:30, we'll call the council meeting to order. We have Pastor Jason Jarvis with Clear Baptist Church. He'll step forward to lead us in prayer. Pledge allegiance.
Let's pray. Lord, as we gather tonight with city leaders and citizens, Lord, I pray that you'll give us wisdom, Lord, that you'll give direction, even unity, Lord, as we discuss things that you would call us to do. And Lord, I pray that you bless this city, bless each person who is leading. And Lord, I pray for your honor and your glory in everything that's done. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen. Salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First item on tonight's agenda is the approval of the agenda. I would like to make a motion that we amend this agenda to include budget adjustments for Park and Rec. Do I hear a motion to amend the agenda?
I'll move on the motion.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion and a second on the amended agenda. We'll roll call. Turner?
Yes.
Bud?
Yes.
Morgan?
Yes.
Davis?
Yes.
And I'm a yes. Next, we have the approval of the minutes from our regular meeting on January 5th and the work session on January 5th. Do I hear a motion to approve and dispense the reading of these minutes?
I'll move. I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. We'll roll call. Turner?
Yes.
Bud?
Yes.
Morgan?
Yes.
Davis?
Yes.
Yes. All right, so first up, let's go ahead and take care of the budget adjustments. Henry, if you would, or excuse me, Councilmember Davis, if you would describe that for us.
Yes, so if approved, this adjustment would allow the purchase for new equipment for the Park and Rec Department. We're looking to purchase a tractor and 2 utility vehicles, and that tractor will allow us to be able to provide proper cultural practices for our fields.
All right, thank you. On the dollar figure behind those, the tractors, $22,695, and the 2 Caleras, those are $22,798 for a total of $45,493. In speaking with our finance director, we do have the funds available for this adjustment. Do I hear a motion?
I'll move on the motion.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All right, we'll roll call. Turner?
Yes.
Vaughn?
Yes.
Morgan?
Yes.
Davis?
Yes.
Yes. All right, next we have ordinance 2026-01. This is an ordinance regulating our false alarms. We heard from our fire marshal in the work session on this ordinance. Is there any discussion from the council on this? If not, we'll need unanimous consent to move forward with this tonight.
I'll move for unanimous consent.
I'll second.
All right, we'll roll call for unanimous consent. Turner?
Yes.
Bun?
Yes.
Morgan?
Yes.
Davis?
Yes.
I'm a yes. Just need a motion to adopt.
I'll motion to adopt.
Our second.
We have a motion and a second. We'll roll call. Turner?
Yes.
Bun?
Yes.
Morgan?
Yes.
Davis?
Yes.
I'm a yes. All right, next we have resolution number 2026-05. The mayor would like to speak on this.
So, resolution 2026-05. I'm bringing this grant to the council tonight for approval for a signature to accept an $11.7 million grant. Our city has been working on this since '22. It's time to move our city forward. I'm asking this council for a green check mark on this, to be able to start the engineering, start the process, and move the city as quick as we possibly can. I want to pause for a second and thank our Federal Railroad Administration for even considering us a grant at this magnitude. And also, I'd like to thank Volger for their hard work, our staff of the hard work that they've done over the years to bring this presentation to the city of Calera. This is a very big start for the city, for us to move things over in the right direction, over that railroad track. The railroad track has helped us up for many years. The response time is very bad. This will help our city financially, an economic boost for us. So tonight, I'm asking for an approval from the council for resolution number 2026-05 to give it a green check mark and let me be able to move the city forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Is there any discussion from the council on this resolution?
Nothing besides I love the hat.
Get that green check mark. All right, to the mayor's point, this is the starting point of this grant. Doesn't fund the whole project. So it's a starting point to let us get the engineering underway. It's an exciting time. Construction will be a couple of years down the road, but this is getting us in the right direction, and we're super excited. So if there's no more discussion, do I hear a motion or a second?
I am so proud. Go ahead, Ms. Gates.
Go ahead.
I am so proud to move the motion for this.
I will second it.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Let's roll call. Turner?
Yes.
Bunn?
Yes.
Morgan?
Yes.
Davis?
Yes.
I'm a yes. We got that green check mark, Mayor. All right, next on the agenda, we have resolution number 2026-06. This is the dedication of certain streets. Councilmember Morgan, if you could explain this for us.
I'll do my best. You just gave it to me.
Just have the streets, just the streets.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't want to take the thunder.
That's okay. We're looking at street adoption, the Highlands, the Highland Way, Highland Drive, Ridge Road, Stone Creek Way, Western Curve, Waterstone Court, and Western Way. All of these were approved.
Yeah, so we talked about that in our work session, getting these streets dedicated. Do I hear any discussion from the council on these streets? If not, we'll need a motion in a second.
I motion to accept this resolution.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. We'll roll call. Turner?
Yes.
Bunn?
Yes.
Morgan?
Yes.
Davis?
Yes.
I'm a yes. All right, we have Mr. Byron, the Divider, signed in to speak tonight. If you would step forward, please.
Good evening, council, mayor. I just want to be a brief moment and touch base on a couple of things. I want to ask, one, I want to ask y'all help on something. As you look at, and Calera basketball team having a lot of success right now, and ever since the gym hasn't been back like this since Drew played there. And one thing I'm asking, is when they got host a sub-region game, when the sub-region come around, if I can get the city Calera, the city council, and I'm gonna help to match me as far as feeding them their pregame meal, the boys and girls. Because right now I see where, it's really tough on them as far as supplies like Powerade before the games and everything. And so I think that the job they're doing for the city and with the school itself, and I'm asking you all, can you help me match them feeding them the pregame meal?
What is that date?
It's been, I talked to Drake, they're not exactly sure when it is. It'll be in February though.
Sometime in February.
Yeah.
number as to dollar figure?
Yeah, I fed the girls last Friday team, and I spent, it was like $300, so when you're doubling both, because I think the boys have probably about, say 15 players plus the coaches, they probably pull up a couple JV guys, so you're probably looking at 35 players total. So probably, I would say at most, we say Henry probably, most play about 35 total, and so probably, I'm guessing, maybe $700 total.
Yeah, I would expect to probably feed about 50 people, coaches and players.
Yeah.
Okay, let us talk about that. We have a meeting on the 2nd of February, so we can discuss that and see how we want to move forward. If you want to hang around, I'll get you your number and we can
Yeah,
stay in
that'll
touch.
work. Okay. And the other thing I want to just ask, the Chief Heights here, his department's been very helpful. I got an event coming up on the 21st at Calera, and it's been really successful. Thanks for the Mayor Cost and the Park Rec Board to help me get it back here in Calera. It's really bringing a lot of revenue to the city, and I just want to, get the city involved to support. Not asking for any financial obligation, whatever, but just get the city, to come out and support, the council to support. Last time I had it here, Mayor Cost came through and stuff, and supported and stuff, and is asking that you all come out and support.
Thank you. That's all that's on tonight's agenda. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?